All right, guys. Welcome to day 2 of Daily Linux. How are we feeling? Are we ready to have some fun?
Yeah.
All right. Only one person's excited about this. It's okay. Hold on. I'm
like
going
Linux.
to... What'd you say?
I like Linux.
You like Linux? Who's just said that?
Me.
All right, Emily. Okay. Just a quick thing. If you guys are, please mute your video. Mute yourself so that it doesn't stay in the recording, and unmute yourself when you have a question for me. Okay. That way we don't have to hear what's going on in the background. All right, guys. So the first thing we're gonna do, we are going to go, and I'm gonna unpublish it since I can't seem to remember to unpublish things. To publish things. Sorry. All right, we're gonna go to 2 days. I'm gonna publish this. So you guys remember, it's under, it should say day 2, recording and content. I've only put the content. When I'll shut this computer down, I'll pull up the recording for you guys in case you need it. So go to modules. So you should be in Cali, right? So just, when I say the blue dragon on the left top corner, I mean this one. And you should be able to go to the web browser to get to anything that you need, okay? So go ahead, go to Canvas, and your information should be all the way, blah, 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 there it is. Under Daily Linux, recording and content. And click on that, and I'll wait a little bit. Stable, that's not good. All right, give me a thumbs up whenever you are ready. So we might go a little bit over that 3 o'clock deadline, and that's my fault. I just need to be ready a little later today. So I'm not seeing any thumbs up. So does that mean that you guys are not ready, or does it mean, okay, I got one?
Show the screen again, because I can't see.
Hold on, let me clear this. Boom. Okay, you're gonna go to Daily Linux, and you're gonna go to day 2, recording and content. Okay.
Day 2, recording content. Okay.
Yeah.
Ola?
Yeah.
Do we need to open the Canvas inside of Kali Linux, inside
Absolutely.
of the web browser? Okay.
Yep. Okay, so it should give you a what to do next kind of deal. If it doesn't work, we'll have to figure something out. You might just have to watch me, but download the executable, and then you can wait for me, but just go ahead and start downloading it. I don't think it's that big, but.
Day 2 practice. Oh, sorry.
All right. How's everybody? Caught up? Not caught up.
I think the Kali Linux takes a while to boot up, so.
But you guys were all in Kali Linux right now, right? Because they were all on Wireshark.
Well, we were watching Josiah, so it shut down a little bit.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll wait a couple minutes. All you need to do is get on Canvas for now, and I would, for those of you that are already on it, go ahead and pull up your terminal. You don't need to go to downloads just yet. So this is where you should be. Where'd it go? Oops. Is it this one? This one. All right, so while you're doing this, I'm going to explain a little bit the difference between the directories. There's a few concepts I want you to kind of understand. If you don't understand them, it's okay. We'll get back to them. And the more you hear it, the better it will be. So one thing you need to understand is the difference between the root directory, home directories, right? So you have like, the outermost directory is going to be your root directory, right? Think of it as the backbone. Root directory is the thing that's the outermost directory within your file system. Your file system represents all the folders and files and systems running into your computer. So usually you see them as in terms of folders and files, but these are more folders actually. So I usually like to say directory and non-directories because although these are not directories, there are systems that are running in your system. So we're only going to worry about the home directory. So your root directory has home directories and it has system directories, right? If you go to your root directory, which we'll go in a minute, you'll see all of these are actually, they'll be in blue too, because some of them are still directories. So var will be a directory since you see everything that it holds. The rest are going to be home directories. And for example, here I know that I have 2 home directories, and I know that I have 2 users. I have Robin and I have Rep, right? And you should know, like, whenever you go into your computer, you should be able to see all of this right here. So your root directory is always going to start with a / and we're going to practice the tree command today. And you'll see that whenever you're in your current working directory, it'll start with a dot. But just so you know, your root directory is always going to start with a /. Okay. All right. Let me. I just wanted you to see this picture really quickly. So are you guys done with? Are you guys all on Canvas, and did you guys all downloaded this? Thumbs up?
No, mine is saying, what do I want to open it with? But should fire?
Save file. Save file for now. That way it'll go directly into your downloads folder. Okay, so the majority of the class does have thumbs up. So just click on save file and it's just going to save itself in your downloads folder. Okay? So I'm going to pull up, I don't know if I just downloaded it. Hold on a second. I don't think I just downloaded it. Okay, I'm going to redo it right here. So save file, click OK. I'm going to wait a little bit. So what I created is I created a whole, a bunch of directories and files so that we can kind of practice the command so you wouldn't have to create them as I go. Did it work or is it taking its time? Nope, it has decided to not work. Am I being impatient? Maybe. All right, so I might have to move mine so that it actually, interesting. Okay, so once you're here, let's see, you should be able to locate it in your downloads folder. So I don't think I will have mine because I just deleted it. Okay, so can you guys give me a thumbs up if you do find it in your downloads folder? I'm gonna have to move mine. I get a couple thumbs up. I think my computer has decided to be super slow today. Come on.
No.
Yours were in the download folder. I saw it.
You saw it in the downloads folder?
Yeah.
Oh, in my downloads folder.
Right above the CD dot underneath day 1 challenge.zip.
Oh, wow, yes, you're right. Huh. Wait, why is there 2 of them? Okay, I'm gonna go back. That's weird. Usually I get another. Oh, wow, look at that. I've done it 100 times. Shows my patience. All right, I'm gonna use this one right here. Okay, so let's bring the commands we're gonna talk about today. So far, we're just, we're gonna talk about, so you've seen some of these commands. I try to do this one during that one day, but we're gonna go a bit more in depth. We're gonna talk about remove directory, making directories. We're gonna talk about the change directory commands, the print working directory command, and we're gonna talk about some of the concepts. So I told you a little bit about the root directory. I'm going to explain the parent versus subdirectory one more time, and I'm going to explain what a current working directory is. So let's start with we're gonna work on the tree, and then I'm gonna kind of like ping around. Sorry, and also we're gonna do the make directories commands. So we're gonna ping around a little bit. So we're gonna work on the tree directory, the tree command first. So let's get our, all our tools ready. So if you type tree right now, does it work? Just tree. No, that's not what I wanted. If it doesn't work, you're going to need to install it. So I'm going to give you some time. So I should say sudo app install tree, sudo app install tree. So if the tree command did not work for you, go ahead and start with this first.
You're doing the tree inside the downloads folder? Like inside
You can do it anywhere you want.
Oh, okay.
How's it going for you guys? Is working? So I would not advise doing this in, I think go first in Kali Linux, because I know some of you have Macs. It is a whole different process to download that tree command if you're just using Mac. So please try and go into Kali Linux to make your life a little easier.
I have a tree, but it just looked different from yours.
Right, it's gonna look different because I accidentally clicked tree. It's gonna look different because I have a lot of things going on in my downloads folder right now.
Okay.
So
if
you,
I have day one challenge, and then this
right.
day 2 stuff.
Exactly. We have a different amount of things in our folders, but.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not getting the same thing for some reason. It says, we trust you have received the usual lecture from the local system administrator.
Mm-hmm.
And
you did sudo app install tree?
Yeah, tree, yes, that's what I did.
Okay, click enter, or yes, whichever one they want.
They ask for Kali Linux password, I put it and that's it. But when they say, now I typed tree and they say unable to locate package 3.
Okay, so let's pause on you. How's everyone else doing?
I got a tree.
You got a tree? Anybody else? I got 3 thumbs up, so I'm assuming it's good. Are you also on Kali, Meredith, right? Try this one. Oops, definitely not a app. Let's install tree. You might also have to add the update. Maybe you need the update as well. Try this one too. What I just put on my
Okay.
Okay, try that one too. What is going on? Stop. Okay, so you guys should have all, so I'm trying to get you guys to, sorry, I'm trying all you guys to be prepared so that we can move on, okay? So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna download an executable. Now I'm gonna go and look for it. So it should be in my downloads folder. Let me clear this. So now you guys should have opened your terminal and you should have this going on, right? So I know that whenever I download things, it goes directly into my downloads folder. So that's what I'm gonna go look for it, right? So if I do ls, I know that I can just go straight to my downloads folder by doing cd downloads, right? So cd stands for change directory, and we've done that, right? So that's how you get to change into a directory that you want, and usually those directories are in blue, okay? So the tilde will send me to my home directory. So if I did, send me back to my home directory, which is what I started with, right? And my home directory looks like this. You guys remember when, hold on a second, is it still here? Right. So home directory, this is where I would be, right? With all that stuff in here. If I ask for home, this is where I am. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna pull up a bunch of other things. Yeah. So let me clear it. So that's what, so no matter where I am, let's see, downloads. Let's see what else I could get into. CD, I don't know what CD Uno is. Okay, there's nothing in CD Uno, that's fine. So even if I'm here and I say, you know what, let me go to the very beginning, my home directory, I would do CD space tilde, boom, back to my home directory at the very, very beginning, okay? Now, if I wanted to get into my root directory, I could do, is this CD this? I think it's space, sorry. There we go. You see how this changed all of a sudden? Compared to the tilde? So if I do ls to see what is going on, this is the root directory. So as you can see, mnt, opt, served. If I go back and see root directory, you see all these right here? Now I have access to everything that's here, right? So obviously here you would only see the first level. So home, mount, and all that stuff. That is the first thing, sorry, you would see. Sorry, I have too many things open. You would see here, okay? Now, of course, now I have no idea where I need to go. So I'm gonna first do CD home, hold on, and CD Uno, right? I was here and I did CD home to get here, and then I did CD Uno, right? This is where I am right now. Now, what you could do, let's say that now I'm here and I kind of want to know what's going on even after. I could figure out what's called the path, right? I could figure out what path I took to get to Uno. So I could do print working directory. You see this? I'm going to use pwd a couple times as we're working on this exercise to show you how what it's going to look like, right? Let me add some stuff to it. Let's go to the maybe the download. Hold on, it's not spelled download. Downloads folder. And then I think I did, I don't know, maybe output? CD. Oh, actually, let's do day 1, right? Because that's what we did yesterday. Day 01, right? I'm going to do print working directory again. So whenever you see something starting with a slash in the beginning, right? It is actually starting from, it is called the absolute path, meaning it's starting from this root directory right here. I'm starting from here. So when this you see it starting with slash, so that means if I went all the way to download, so here I went from the root directory to home to Uno, it's rep here, to downloads to day 1, right? Which is something that's inside of the downloads folder. I went straight from the root directory is going to start with a slash. So even if I went somewhere else, I could just call this absolute path, and it will bring me right back to day 1. Okay, let's see if I can do it. So I'm going to do tilde. I'm going to go somewhere completely different. Let's go to the desktop section, right? So I'm obviously in a whole different directory, right? If I do ls, this is the only thing I have access to. However, if I did cd and then the absolute path, there you go. Not only did it take me out, so I didn't have to do cd ... It took me out completely of this directory and went straight for it. And if I do pwd to see exactly where I am, it tells me this is from the root directory. You went through home, through Uno, through downloads to the day 1 folder to get to where you are right now. That's what print working directory means, okay? So if I wanted to leave day 1 and go straight back to downloads, what would I do?
Just cut out day 1.
I'm sorry?
You just cut out day 1. You just put like home, Una, download.
Oh yeah, I could do that. That's good. Oops. No, that's not how you do it. Sorry, hold on. Copy. I could do that. You're right. CD. And then paste, right? I could do that, but that's a lot of work, right? So let's say I want to get into day 1. So right now, this is what's called the current working directory. So that's CWD. CWD. This is the current working directory. This is the directory I'm in right now, right? So if I wanted to go into day 01, I could just do cd day 01. There you go, I'm back. You see that? So that is no longer, this is an absolute path. This is a relative path because it's relative to the directory I'm in, to the current working directory, okay? If I want to go back to downloads, I could just do cd space dot dot, okay? Let me get out of the downloads folder. There we go. So now if I want to go back to day 1 by not using the absolute path, but actually by using the relative path, I would just do cd, oops, hold on, downloads space day 01. And here I am. So the difference between the two, you see how it was just cd downloads day 01? This is relative to where I was standing. I was standing in the home directory. I was sitting right here, right? So this is relative to where I was standing. This whole thing right here, this long thing, starting with a slash, is the absolute path starting at the root directory, the outermost directory we got, okay? So in terms of calling parent and parent directory and subdirectories, home is the English. Home is the parent directory, rep, or in my case, una, is the subdirectory. So the outermost directory is the root directory. Then we got the home directory. Does that make sense? So that's a little bit of jargon. I'm not seeing any thumbs up. Should I be worried or are you guys good? I got a thumbs up from Emily, Sakia, Derek. Okay, I like it. May, all right. Woo, cool. Alrighty, so let me see what I did talk about. Maybe I should leave them up so you guys can actually see what I talk about. Okay, so talk to you about this one. Talk to you about this one. And actually talk to you about cd slash, which means that you're going straight to the root directory, right? So if I did cd space slash, I would go straight to the root directory. Uh-oh, now it doesn't look the same. However, I should be able to do this. I don't even know if you need to. Paste selection. Oh, there we go. Brought me right back, right? So I was at the root directory, which is that slash, and the tilde is the home directory. All right, I told you about print working directory. Oops. And we talked about absolute, and we talked about parent. And current working directory. Okay, so we're gonna play a little bit with tree now. So you should have downloaded this. Let me bring this back. Sorry for all the moving pieces right now. So we're gonna get out of this because that is not where I want it to be anyways. So we're gonna play around with this. So this is so we can practice tree and we can practice deleting and making directories, okay? So I know that this is gonna be in my downloads folder. Right now, you guys don't know how to move things around, and that's fine. We'll learn it, I think, this week or next. I'm not sure. But we're going to stay in the downloads folder. Let's just stay that way. And I'm assuming you guys all got, I still don't have the tree. Okay, hold off 1 second, and then I'm going to help you with the tree, Meredith, okay? Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, you're going to, so if I did ls-l, which you guys have all learned yesterday, you will see day 2 practice, and you will see that not only is it a file, but you can only read and write from it, and everybody else can just read from it, right? I need to change that because I want this to be an executable file. So I'm going to do chmod plus x, and I'm going to put the name of my file, day 2 practice. I'm going to click enter. So hopefully you did it. Even if the tree doesn't work, Meredith, you can do this, okay? So now I'm going to do again ls-l and see what happens. Did you see? Look at that. Day 2 practice has now changed color. It's no longer just a file, right? But look at the X's. I don't know if I can pull up with the other one. Yeah, hold on. Oh, this out of the page. Anyways, now you should see that you have an X that's been added. It's because now it's turned into an executable. Right? It used to be white like this with just nothing but R and W, read, write, read, and read, right? But now it's read, write, execute. You can read and execute. You can read and execute. So if you are the owner, you can do all this. If you are in the group, you can do all this. And if you are anybody else that stumbles upon your file system, they can do these three right here. Okay? So now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to execute this. So day 2 practice. So right now it looks like absolutely nothing happened. I'm going to do ls to see. And what happened is Big Cats. You should see Big Cats has now downloaded inside your downloads folder. How are we doing? Good? So I kind of want to put that off to another day where I kind of show you what an executable is and why Big Cats was downloaded to your downloads folder. So hold off on that thought and I will bring it hopefully this week or next. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see, okay? So now we have Big Cats. So how do we get into the Big Cats directory?
CD.
Yes. Big Cats. So now if I do ls, I should see the other directories, and that's the very first level, right? Or I can do, because you know we're humans and we like visuals, I can do tree. And now that looks a whole lot nicer. So your outermost directory is Big Cats, and it's represented with just that one dot right here, right? And you could only see earlier when we did ls, you could only see canis, cats, dogs, and leopardus, right? Canis, cats, dogs, leopardus, right? But with tree, I can kind of see all the other levels that are there. So let's see what else I can do with all this. So tree-p will give me the permissions of each directory and file. Looks a little messy, but at least I can see what's going on. This doesn't really matter here, but later on, whenever you start doing other kind of execution, it's going to be important to see that maybe something doesn't match something else. The next thing we have is tree-s. And that's the file size of everything, right? So dog obviously is a dummy file. There's nothing in that. But the others are a bit bigger in bits, right? Now, some of these options you should be able to decipher, except for P. Usually sometimes it stands for parent, but here it stands for permission. S is size. So let's say I'm having a hard time reading these. Right now, four digits is not a problem, but what if I want to make it more human readable? There you go. Easier to read, right? 4,000. So that's 3 space dash H. Let's say that there's too much noise going on. So let me put tree back. Let's say there's too much noise going on. I just want to see the directories. I will do tree space D. There you go. All I see are the directories. I'm going to skip A, which you guys should know what it is, but tree-I, let's say I don't want to see it as a visual like this, and I just want to see under one line. There you go. With the directories. With the directory, sorry, and the files. Actually, I wonder if we could do dash, what is it, D and then I. Let's see if it screams at me. Oh, it screamed at me. Let's not do that. Okay, so I said tree dash D. So you cannot add the options together. So let's leave that alone. Okay. So as you can see, there is, if we were talking top of in layers, you'd have Canis, so layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and then if you look up here, they'd be a layer 4, right? So looking here, tree dash L 1. So here's the first layer: Canis, cats, dogs, leopardus, right? If I want to see the layer that comes right after it, I would do 2. Now see the first layer and then the second layer. I want to see the third layer. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. 3 layers. And I believe there's one more layer with that last file. And there you go. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 layers. There shouldn't be any 5 layers. So we're okay. So I'm going to do this one, which is looking at who the user is. Sorry, the owner, not the user, the owner. So I am the owner of all these directories and files, which is why you see me everywhere, right? Good for troubleshooting. How are we doing over there? Everybody okay? Okay, Saida. Permission denied for D2 practice. Okay, you'll show me, Saida, you'll show me exactly what's going on with yours. Everybody else was fine when you downloaded D2 practice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So Saida, you
To make it executable, was it a plus X or a minus X?
a plus X.
Okay, yeah, I did that and it didn't open.
You did plus X?
Yeah, I did chmod.
Okay. I'll take a look at what's going on with yours in just a minute.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so if I go back to tree, and this is everything that I've got right here, right? So we're going to learn how to make and delete directories, okay? So right now, my first, actually, let's move around. Like, since if you have the tree, I want you to move around and get to familiaris. How would you do it? By just using CD.
What are you trying to do?
I should be right now in Big Cats. This is where I am right now, in this big directory, in this directory right here, right? I am, if you think it's like as a car, maybe. This is where you are, this is where I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get into this directory. How would you do it?
Just CD familiars.
CD familiaris? No.
CD.
This is like
You're gonna follow the
Oh,
path.
you have to go to the path. Yes.
very good. So this is like me being in the kitchen or in my bedroom and I'm trying to get into the kitchen cupboard or something. I actually have to go maybe to the living room, to the dining room, to the kitchen. Okay? So let's do this. So first I'm going to do CD canis. Oops. Right? I can do ls just to see what's going on. As you can see, only lupus is available, right? From canis, you can only go to lupus. You cannot go to the second lupus. You cannot go, well, you will be able to go to familiaris, but there's first this thing I have to go through. So let's do CD lupus, right? Now let's do ls again just to see what's going on. I can either, so I'm here. I can either go to familiaris or I can go to lupus. What I want to do is go to familiaris. So familiaris. Oops. That's not how you spell it. There we go. So let me do ls. Dog.txt is here. And am I correct? Yes. Okay. So Now, I'm a lazy programmer, lazy whatever, and I don't want to do all that. Actually, like, there's a faster way of doing all this. No, that's not how you do it. Right? So if you look again, actually, I'll just scroll up. If you look again, I had talked about file path once before. From here, I can just add, I could be like, you know, if you want to get to the kitchen, you first have to go through this, then through this, then through this to get to this right here, right? And how do we open directories? CD, right? What you could do, actually, as you can see here, you can see the path. I'm going to write its relative path to get all the way to familiaris. So I'm going to do cd canis lupus familiaris. Not with an E. Click enter. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, I forgot a forward slash. There we go. How are we doing? Do we understand how I got here? Okay. So as you can see, right, the last one is going to matter whenever you do CD. CD says, go ahead and open this, right? And I put its whole relative path to get to this. It opened this directory, right? If I wanted to open a text document that's at the end, I would have to do something else. So in terms of, hold on. Let's say I wanted to open dog.txt, which is after familiaris, right? Familiaris has a file called dog.txt. I would have to say, go ahead and open this file, and I'm going to give you, Saida, that is correct. You can also do the dot, because the dot signifies in this directory right here. So that's one way of doing it, or the one I have on is also correct. So Saida, you are correct. No spaces though between the slashes and the names. So let's say I wanted to open that dog.txt, I would do cat, and I would do the exact same thing. Canis, lupus, familiaris, oh my goodness, and then dog.txt. Does that make sense? Because I am opening this file right here. But first I have to go through canis, through lupus, to familiaris to get to this, right? So this is just your relative path. And as Saida did, you can also do this, right? If that's what you want to do. All right, so you guys know how to open a file without having to go all the way through each of those directories. I can just open it from that outermost directory by just mentioning the relative path, okay? So, okay. So what I want to do now, I want to kind of mesh something that we talked about yesterday, which is creating a dummy file. I'm going to add under the lupus, this lupus right here, I want to add a hidden file. We're going to call it lichen. All right, I'm going to clear this. I'm going to do tree. And we are going to create an extra file under this lupus directory, okay? So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to do touch, because that's what we learned last time, correct? We're going to say canis, lupus, and then I'm going to do a hidden file. So I'm going to do .lichen.txt. Okay? So go ahead and create this hidden file within using this relative path right here. Okay? So if I were to do tree again, I am not going to see it because it is hidden, correct? However, I can do tree A, and here you go. Now I see my hidden my hidden file. So I usually like to give you guys some time, but you guys good? 2 thumbs up. Is anyone having really a hard time for those of you that were able to? Okay, I got 3 thumbs up. I'm liking this. Okay, so the reason why I had to wait for tree-t is going to tell you which one, when they were all created, right? These directories and these files. So if I did tree-t, okay, hold on a second. Ooh. Actually, first of all, if you guys could do me a favor, I think it's not showing because it might be the hidden directory problem. Let's create a file, not hidden, under dogs. Let's create a file under dogs, right? Call it whatever you want, Fido if you want. And then we're gonna try tree-t one more time. All right, so from where I am, in order to create a file under dogs, I would do touch dogs Fido. All right, so if I did tree, there you go, Fido.txt is right here. Okay, so let me try tree.t, and if it doesn't work, there we go. All right, so at first within, what's the word? Alphabetically, it brought me all my directories. However, this one was the last one created, right? I created Fido. So instead of being after cats, which would be alphabetically, it brought me the very last thing that was created, right? That was the last thing I touched. Earlier, it didn't do this, and I think it's because of the hidden directory. I'm sorry, the hidden file that I created. All right, so now let's start making and removing directories, okay? I guess somebody give me, I'm running out of ideas. What is a directory you want to create out of all these animals? What's a good one? No one?
A liger.
A liger. So is that under tigers? Should that be under tigris? That's okay, we're gonna create that. All right, so the way you create, sorry, where am I? So make directory, we're gonna make a liger.
Somebody's been watching Tiger Team.
That is funny because I'm definitely dating myself. I was gonna see someone's watching Napoleon Dynamite. I'm dating myself. Anyways. So let's make the directory called liger. And let's see if it worked out. There you go. Liger is right here. Okay. Now let's say I kind of want to branch it out, right? Maybe there's 2 more things going on under liger, right? So I want to create, so I'm going to do liger, then tiger, then lion. Okay, let's try that out. So in order to create something under liger, I would have to go under liger, correct? So let's get into liger, right? Sorry. And let's create another directory. All right, maybe give me another name. I was gonna do tiger first. Let's do tiger, and then we can definitely not type for tiger, right? Let's see what my tree, actually, I'm gonna get out of this first to show you, and then I'll show you something else I wanna show you. So see how we have liger, then we have tiger. So in order to create another directory under tiger, I would have to get inside tiger, right? So let's get first into liger, then get into, I could do ls to prove it to you. See, the tiger is here. So cd tiger, right? So I'm going to make another directory here called lion. All right. Let's do the tree. There you go. So liger, tiger, lion, right? Now we're gonna go in each of them and we're gonna delete them one at a time. So you could use a relative, either you can go inside each directory and delete each directory one at a time, or you can do what I taught you earlier in using the relative path, because we don't wanna go through all that hard time, right? So we're gonna do remove directory and do first go through liger, then tiger to remove lion. Let's see what I got. Ah, perfect. What would happen if I try to remove liger, sorry? It's gonna scream at me because it is not empty. If something is not empty, you can't just delete it, okay? So I'm gonna say, go ahead and remove the directory liger/tiger. And that should remove tiger, right? And if I just want to remove liger, I could say remove directory and call this thing liger. Let's see if it was deleted. Awesome. All right, so this was a lot of work. I don't want to work this hard, especially if I have all of this to create. I just wanted to use as minimal command lines as possible. So what I can do is I can force a command path, right? So remember, it was make directory, and it's going to end up looking like this. Liger, tiger, lion. So is this going to work? It's not going to work. It's going to say, yeah, we have no idea what tiger is. This is an imaginary path that it doesn't exist. We don't know what this is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an option. So this stands for parent. So either you can do -p or you can do -- parents with an S, right? -p is going to force the parent directory and subdirectories that need to be created in order to create this whole path. So if I do tree, there you go. Liger, tiger, lion. Recreated. The whole thing has been created. How are we doing? Good. I get a few thumbs up. Nice. Okay, I like the thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Okay, so I forced it by doing -p. Now I'm going to create again a file. Liger, tiger, lion, and then cats.txt. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do this one. So whenever you have a file there, right, you could, so just like we did -p, I'm gonna try to do this. P, and I'm gonna copy all of this. Copy selection. All right, well, I gotta get rid of touch, right? So I'm saying go ahead and remove this directory, -p, right? -p means I'm trying to get rid of the parents as well. I'm going to remove this and see what happens. So this should not work, right? It is not working because lion has a file inside of it. So before saying go ahead and remove everything, including the parents, it would have to be a completely empty directory. So if there is no file, right? If there's no cats in the end, I'm gonna remove that file. So there's no more cats in the end, right? If I do this again, remove P, liger, tiger, lion, it should remove the whole branch. Let's see if I'm correct. There we go. The whole thing went away. Now there's a way to absolutely force whether there's content or not, and I will touch more upon it next time. But I'm gonna recreate the cats file. Oh, sorry, there's no directory there, so I can't create that. Make directory. All right, I'm gonna remake the directory. No such file. Oh, you guys, just checking that you guys are paying attention, of course. Okay, so I remade that last directory, right? So right now it is possible to remove the whole branch by using remove directory -p and and adding the directory and the subdirectory, so the relative path. But if there's an extra file, there's actually another command that we're going to use. So for now, I'm going to pause it because we're going to talk about it next time, and that's the rm. It's the rm command. Okay. So if there's a bunch of stuff in it, so if I really wanted to, I could delete this whole thing in one command by using rm -r. I think we talked about rm yesterday, didn't we? Guys? Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say there was all this. So I'm actually gonna show you, right? So I want to delete not only the directories, but the file that's in it, right? So I'm going to, so I could actually, I believe I could just do rm. I don't have to even talk about I don't even have to do the whole file path. I think I can just do liger. There you go. See, no complaints. Yeah, see, the whole line just went away, including its files. So that's pretty strong, right? That's a pretty strong command right here. It won't give you any warning. Hey, by the way, there's contents here. No, it's just going to take it out, right? So if I get out of the downloads, if I go into the downloads folder and I do rm-r big cats, right? Because that's the name of this whole project, it will delete the whole thing without telling me, by the way, there are files in here, right? So do be careful with the rm command. So the last thing we want to talk about is rmdir, directory 1, directory 2, directory 3. So with these ones, each of these would have to be empty, right? So if I created all of a sudden empty directory, so let's create 3 types of directories, right? Let's call them, I don't know. Let's not worry about it. Let's just call them like they did, directory 1, directory 2, directory 3, right? So if I do tree, I'll have 3 new directories that are empty. See, there's nothing going on in here. If I wanted to delete them, all I would do is remove directory, dir 1, dir 2, dir 3. No complaints, right? So I was able to delete them because they are empty. Now, nope, not what I want to do. Okay, all right, so I think I talked to you about everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah, okay, so I would advise you, since you'll have this all the time, what you can do, you can practice creating this exact same tree on your own. And I'm going to also release another thing that walks you kind of through. Probably when we use moving and copying, I'll release that other thing for the file system. But since you have this right now, I would say go ahead and play around with it. Add files, add directories, add hidden directories, add hidden files. Yeah, I think that would be awesome. And I think you guys will have a good amount of practice. In the meantime, do you have any questions right now? Anyone? Questions?
I understand.
Okay, cool. All right, so here's what you're going to do. I will publish the next thing. So the next thing, let me talk to you about it really quickly. Alrighty. Okay, if you want to listen. Okay, so you are going to create a another tree that's a family tree, but it should look about the same, right? If you think about the concept, it's the exact same thing. So if you pay attention to this and you look sideways, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 levels, right? Does that make sense? 4 levels. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to create a file system that mirrors this succession right here. So each monarch is turned into a directory. So this folder, so this directory, make directory, only pick the monarch, do not add the spouses. So let me explain this. Let's pick Queen Elizabeth as your beginning, right? So you should have 4 directories that branch out from that one. You can just go by first name, right? Just call it Elizabeth. You should have 4 directories, Charles, Anne, Andrew, Edward, right? Edward should have 2 directories branching out, and that's Louise and James. Andrew should have Beatrice and Eugene. We don't care about the spouses, right? Don't add the spouses. Anne should have Peter and Zara. And Zara should have Maya and Lena branching out. This should be the last directory if you follow Zara, right? Peter has Savannah and Isla. William has George, Charlotte, Lewis, and Harry has Archie. That's 1 and 2, and that's 1, 2, and 3, right? Now, whenever you're done with this, so you should have just the directories going on right now, right? Now let's go to 4. 4 is saying add files. So we're doing dummy files. So what command line are we using?
Touch.
Yeah, good job. So touch. So now you add files to all the monarchs actually in line for the succession. So as you can see, there are 4. So just do a dummy file. You can use the same name if you want to. So create a file for Queen Elizabeth, 1 for Charles, 1 for William, and 1 from George. Does that make sense?
No, really.
Okay. Let me stop the recording since that doesn't stop.